The second you made her more important than yourself, you lost yourself. Think about that. So you want to be powerful with women, but you're still hoping she texts you back. You're making her approval more important than your purpose. You're still bending, shrinking, doing whatever you need to do just to keep her around. Let me make this clear. The second you made her more important than you lost yourself. You don't need another strategy. You don't need to be nicer. You don't need to be smoother. You don't need to be more in touch with your emotions. What you need to do is let her go. You need to let go of your attachment to women and your attachment to validation. As a matter of fact, you need to let them all go. You need to let go of your fixation. You need to let go of your fantasy. You need to let go of your fear. You need to let go of your attachment to women. This isn't about game. This is about your soul. This is about you. And if you stay with me to the end, I'm going to give you one powerful question that's going to help you take your power back. Let's dive right into this. But before I do, I want to invite you to like, subscribe, and share. And I want to invite you to also comment. Those comments are really powerful. They help everybody to grow. And well, I check them out every week and I learn a lot. Most men are orbiting women. They call it love, but they're actually chasing validation. They're wanting something from the woman. And the truth is, if you don't let go, you're never going to build a life that's yours. You're going to be stuck. You're going to never figure out who you really are. You're never going to learn what your mission, what your purpose, why you're here. You can't make her greater than your mission. Shapeshifting to keep her kills your soul. So today I'm going to go over 7 things that you really need to learn to take back your power in this area. Number 1, she's not here to rescue you. She's not your rescue boat. She's not going to come save you. If your inner ship is sinking, her love is not going to save you. Think about this for a minute. So many people think when they get their partner, they're going to be happy. But if you haven't figured out how to really be happy for yourself, how to really heal your inner wounds and love life without her coming in to make you happy is only going to be temporary. It might fill a void for a little bit, but the moment she's sad, the moment she's upset, the moment she's not validating you the way you want, you're going to get upset again. You're going to get hurt again. You're going to get bothered again. And this needs to change. This is one of the first things I work with in my clients. I teach them to start to connect to their own soul, to start to connect to themselves, to learn to love the now, this moment, to learn to love life the way it is. When you master the art of loving life the way it is, it becomes way easier to create the life of your dreams, and your mission begins to show itself. So this brings me to number 2, your mission. So if you put her above your mission, she can't trust your leadership anymore. She won't be able to trust you anymore. I want you to picture this scenario. It's a really good scenario. I actually got this one from David Data. Picture a man going off to war. He's about ready to board the train, board the ship, board the plane, whatever it is. He's there with his wife. He's there with his woman, his girlfriend, and he's getting ready to leave. Suddenly she gets scared. She gets nervous. Now he knows this is an important mission he's going on. This is an important wherever he's going. It's something he needs to do. And she starts begging him not to go. She's pleading with him. You're going to get killed. I'm never going to see you again. I love you so much. What would happen if he didn't go? What would happen if he said, yeah, you're right. I could die. You know what? Let's just sneak off to another country so I don't have to go to war, even though I enlisted, and we'll build our life together. It'll be amazing. How do you think she's going to feel about him later? Do you think she's going to be proud of him? Do you think she's going to lose respect for him? I think you can feel it inside. Now, you might say that's typical of a woman in today's red pill culture. But if you think about it, if your buddy did that, your buddy said, this is my mission, this is my purpose, and chickened out at the last minute, would he drop in your eyes too? Would the way you see him change in your eyes too? Would he lower his status? This is a really powerful concept. When you have a mission, you have a purpose, and you stick to that purpose, and it's unwavering, and that mission is greater than you, greater than her, it's greater than you two as a couple. That's when you really begin to understand what it is to have a purpose. That's when you really begin to understand this energy that starts to make you naturally attractive. Okay, number 3, your need for her validation is junk food for your soul. See, you could enjoy a woman's validation. If a woman tells you you're handsome, or she wants to take care of you, or she wants to nurture you. It's a beautiful thing. It actually lights me up inside. I love it. If she wants to hold you and cuddle you to give you energy because you got a hard day at work, it's nothing better than that. It's beautiful. Give you a massage, I'll even take that. The key is that if you need that to be happy, if you need her validation, otherwise you're going to be miserable. You don't know how to be happy without her. That's when you become unattractive. Your constant chasing of validation from her, you're constantly needing validation from her to be happy, is draining to her soul. It will break her down and wear her out. You see, she wants to cling to you. You can't cling to her. You need to be the rock. She brings a whole nother set of gifts. One of your gifts is your ability to hold a focus, to be the leader, to steer the ship in the right direction. And sometimes that means letting go of your need for her validation. So that brings me to number 4. You have to let go to rise up. See, as you let go of more and more weight, you can rise up farther and farther. That's one of the tricks to the hot air balloon, right? They put weights on it. When they drop the weights, the hot air balloon naturally rises up. Well, this is the same thing for your consciousness. This is the same thing for your soul. This is your same thing for your happiness. When you begin to let go and let your happiness rise to the surface, let your joy rise to the surface, let your sense of personal power rise to the surface, the whole game begins to change. Now, I've told a lot of you guys to learn to let go. Get my revealing process. You can email Landon@truecourage.io if you want to get the old one before the new one comes out. You can read the book Letting Go by David Hawkins. You can read Sedona Method. And there's so many other books out there you can read too that'll help you to really learn how to let go of this attachment to emotions. I practice this every day of the week, 365 days a year. I'm letting stuff go, welcoming it, letting it go. And that's why I think personally I change so much from year to year. So if you want to become really good at letting go, start the practice today, practice every day until it becomes a part of yourself. When you're letting go in the background, you're no longer thinking about it. It's part of who you are. That's when things will really begin to take off. And it literally does become a part of you. Number 5, dating yourself. Real men date themselves. They take themselves out. They learn to love themselves. So there's a book I read many years ago by an author named Burns. It was actually the first personal growth book I ever read, and it was called Feeling Good. And one of the things that Burns said in there is that if you won't date yourself, you won't get dressed up, take yourself out to a nice dinner, and treat yourself to a good time by yourself, then why should somebody else do it? Are you not worthy of getting dressed up for? Are you not worthy of taking yourself on a nice date? Do you have to have somebody else with you? Otherwise, you're not good enough? What does that say about you? When I really put this to practice was years after I read it. I did it a little bit when I read it, but years later, I was dating a lot of women. I was running around and I realized I had this huge attachment to women. The reason that happened was I had different women over every night. And one night, a woman didn't show up. She couldn't make it for whatever reason. I immediately started looking for somebody else to come over. And I realized as I was scrambling to try to find somebody else to come over, how much attachment I had to having that date, how much attachment I had to women, how much attachment I had to sex, how much attachment I had to being validated. And I kind of got disgusted with myself. I didn't like the way I felt. So I immediately broke up with all the women I was dating, and I began a process of learning to love myself. I began a process of dating myself, not just taking myself to nice dinners, but taking myself on trips. I took myself immediately on a snowboarding trip to the mountains, and I drove, I think it was all the way up to Mammoth Lakes and camped for the weekend, and then snowboarded. I got myself a cabin and then ended up snowboarding, having a great time, learning to enjoy my own company. I did that. I started with that process for about 4 months. And I think I extended it out. By the time I ended the process, I was shocked at the difference. I immediately met a woman, a beautiful Colombian girl, and she was so different than any other girl I dated. More fun, more giving, more loving, more caring, more sweet. And I think it definitely had to do with the fact that I was learning to care and love about myself more. I vibrationally drew somebody more confident and more powerful. And that was freaking awesome. Number 6, she is not your mother. Now think about this. So many guys haven't weaned themselves from their mother's tit. And I mean this, it's almost literal. Not in the sense that you're still attached to her tit, but there's still a part of you chasing that validation from mom. There's something they used to do in tribes a long time ago to break this. They would take the young boy, usually around 12, I think, or somewhere around that age, and he would be, up until that age, sleeping in the tent with his mother. There was a certain age at which they broke him free from that. Maybe it was 12, maybe it was younger. And they had a whole ritual this tribe was talking about, where in the middle of the night, at the right time, they would bust into the tent and they would grab the boy. They'd make all kinds of noise and they'd dance around, and they would be really loud and scary. And what would happen is the mother would then start crying and screaming, "Don't take him," and she'd pull on him and they'd pull him away from her. It was a ritual the tribe did. The mother was in on it. And what this signified was the breaking of the bond between the mother and the child. And then now the child is part of the men. He goes with the men. Next thing that happens is the men take him out and they start treating him like a man instead of a boy. Now he has to step into tension. He has to face his fears. He has to grow up. He has to go through his initiation rites. Maybe that's spending a week in the woods or 24 or 48 hours in the woods with a knife, surviving on his own with nobody there to save him. Maybe it's the one where they stick their hands in the anthill and they let all the fire ants bite them and they can't flinch or cry, or they don't pass. Maybe it's the one where they jump off the bridge with the ropes tied to their legs, not bungee cords like vines. And they land, and if it breaks, they land on a dirt mound. And some of them get their joints dislocated, crazy stuff like this. And each one of these was formulated so that the boy could learn to face his fear, learn to face his fear of death, learn to face his fear of failing. And when he faced that fear, and came out the other side, he got celebrated by the men as a man. And when he got celebrated by the men as a man, he was now a part of the tribe. It had a subconscious effect. It was a form of imprinting. We don't have that today. We don't have those initiation rites. So learning to break free from that bond of your mother, which I did much later in life because I still had it. I could still feel this attachment to my mom years later, and I had to consciously do something about it. Join men's groups, learn to hang around with really masculine men and shoot the shit, bullshit each other, give each other a hard time, go out in the woods, learn to camp, go out in the woods, learn to hunt, do something that's masculine, that forces you to face challenge and forces you to wake up your inner man. That's what I'm encouraging you to do here. That's what I had to do. And I think that every man needs to go through some form of initiation. And number 7, the last one, masculinity is claimed and not given. And the beginning of that for a young boy is those initiation rites. That's the beginning of him claiming it. But you have to continue to build from there. Masculinity is grown through challenge, through competition, not win-lose competition where I'm going to kick your ass and you're going to lose, although you can play with that and have fun with that. You can tease each other, bullshit each other on that, but it's about win-win competition. Even if I lose, how I act in the losing makes me a winner. Am I humble, or do I handle it well? And if I win, am I prideful? Am I arrogant? Can I be playful in the process? Can we tease each other and go back and forth and give each other a hard time, stepping into more and more tension, teaching each other to grow? Being in competition, learning to face competition, learning to show up in the face of tension, learning to get more comfortable with greater and greater levels of tension, learning to become a master of tension, learning to dance with tension, learning to play with tension, learning to flow with tension at the right level for you, and then growing your ability to handle tension a little bit at a time is going to make you a master of masculinity. And over time, you're going to look back and not recognize who you were. So hopefully you're getting a lot of value out of this list. And if you are, I want to invite you to comment below. Definitely put that comment in there. I will be looking the first week it comes out to respond to all your comments. I love your comments. They help everybody to grow. Now for that one honest question that I promised you that's going to help you reclaim your power. Where in your life are you still hoping a woman or women will save you? I want you to take this question. I want you to really think about it. I want you to journal it every day for the week until next week's class. When you come back to next week's class, you cast next week's video, come back and comment in this video what came up, what you realized. Read whatever you write at night, right before you go to bed, so it gets deep in your subconscious mind, and then notice the next day more realizations will come up. Some of the things I want you to consider when you ask yourself this question, where in your life are you still hoping a woman will save you, is emotional. Is there any emotional saving that you want? Is there any sexual saving that you want? Do you need a woman sexually to feel good about yourself, or you feel like nothing? How about validation? Do you need to feel important? Do you need to feel like a king around a woman? Do you need to have a woman treat you special and then you light up? Otherwise, you just feel terrible. Really take a deep look at this. What do you feel like when you don't get it? What do you feel like when you do get it? It's okay to enjoy these things. It's okay to really enjoy these things. The question is, what do you feel when it doesn't happen or it doesn't go the way you expect? Let's say you go out with a woman and you totally think she's into you and she totally loses interest. How do you feel inside? What comes up? Take a deep look at that this week. Journal about it. Learn from it. And then when you come back the next week to watch next week's video, make sure to comment in this video and let me know what you learned. I'll be looking for it. So with all that said, I want to close on this idea. The moment you stop chasing, you become undeniable. She doesn't need you to chase her. She doesn't need you to need her. She needs to feel you don't. Stillness equals presence. Presence equals gravity, and gravity pulls. Meditate on that this week. So if you really got some value out of this video, make sure to check out my previous video on unlocking your purpose. It's a powerful video. And with that said, remember, only the courageous really live. I'll see you in the next video.